Welcome to week 2 of our 10-week web series on Rambam's laws of tshuva, the laws of repentance and forgiveness. Last week we got the introduction, we got the beginning foundation of what it means to ask forgiveness and asking forgiveness from ourselves. This week we get a glimpse on the other side, on giving forgiveness. And Rambam tells us that we should forgive easily, that we should be slow to anger, slow to bear a grudge, but quickly forgive others. And in so doing, though, Rambam points out a potential pitfall, a potential problem down the road, and that's with arrogance. There's an old synagogue joke told that on Yom Kippur, the rabbi gets up and says on the bima in front of everyone, "Oh, I am nothing before you, God." The cantor gets up and says, "I too am nothing, I am worth nothing." The president of the synagogue gets up, "I too am nothing before you, God." Another Kohen gets up and says, "I am nothing before you, God." And the other three look to each other and say, "Look who thinks they're nothing." In holding up this ideal of forgiving easily, we might start to think of ourselves as better. We might start to think that we are the real great people because we forgive easily and we don't bear grudges. And that's true. We should be lauded for that. We should be proud of that. But we have to make sure we don't look at others and say, "Well, I'm better than they are." And the key to this is our challenge for this week. The key that Rambam points to is to forgive but not forget. Rambam says every Yom Kippur, we shouldn't just apologize for the sins we did this past year, but we should apologize for every year's sins. We should mention them and confess again every year what we did from going back from the beginning. And the reason from this is not to be a bludgeon over us, but a reminder. We were already granted forgiveness in previous years. We already forgave ourselves. We already forgave others. We already were granted forgiveness from others. We did what we needed to do. But, in order to avoid starting to feel like, well, we're the best people, because when we do something wrong, we apologize, we have to keep those sins present in our minds. We have to keep those things we did wrong around, to remember what they are and to remind ourselves that we are not perfect. That yes, we apologize, and yes, we'll keep ourselves from doing it again, but the true path to keeping ourselves both not arrogant and not doing those sins again is to never forget them, to remember them and keep them with us. So, our challenge, the challenge I hope to do, is to not just think about this past year, but think back the last 10 years. What are the things we've done wrong that we've repeated? What are the things we've done wrong that we've forgotten about? What are the things we've done wrong that we've gotten over? And be proud of ourselves for forgiving ourselves and for asking forgiveness from others, but at the same time, remembering that we still are that person. We still are that person. We have the potential to slip up in that way, and hopefully that will help us with the problem of arrogance. I wish you a good week of apologizing, of forgiving, but not of forgetting.